students, today we'll see the third unit in history, that is early Tamil society and culture. Introduction. Tamil civilizations, as we have seen, begins at least 3 centuries before the Common Era. As seafaring people, Tamil traders and sailors established commercial and cultural links across the sea, and merchants from foreign territories also visited the Tamil region. The resulting cultural and mercantile activities and internal developments led to urbanization in this region. Towns and ports emerged, coins and currency came into circulation, written documents were produced, the Tamil Brahmi script was adopted to write the Tamil language, classical Tamil poems were composed. So now we'll see the introduction part. So the Tamil civilization has started the 3 centuries before the Common Era, and also the Tamil traders had a trade link with the other country traders, and then so this is the first cause to develop the urbanization. What do you mean by urbanization? The development of rural to urban is called urbanization. Then towns and ports are also came, currencies and coins are also introduced, many written documents are produced, and then classical Tamil poems were also composed in. Sources for the study of early Tamil society. The sources for reconstructing the history of the ancient Tamils are classical Tamil literature, epigraphy, that is inscriptions, archaeological excavations and material culture, non-Tamil and foreign literature. So these are the sources for us to study about the early Tamil society. So the first one is Tamil literature, and then epigraphy. Epigraphy means the study of inscriptions. Okay, archaeological excavations. So through archaeological excavations also we came to know about the ancient Tamil society, no? And then the non-Tamil and foreign literature. The classical Sangam Tamil literature. The classical Sangam corpus collection consists of the Tolkappiyam, the Padinan Melkanakku 18 major works, and the Padinan Keelkanakku, that is 18 minor works, and the 5 epics. The classical Sangam Tamil literature. The classical Sangam Tamil literature consists of 4 things. They are the Tolkappiyam, Padinan Melkanakku, Padinan Keelkanakku, and the 5 epics. Tolkappiyam. Tolkappiyam, attributed to Tolkappiyar, is the earliest written work on Tamil grammar. Apart from elaborating the rules of grammar, the third section of Tolkappiyam also describes poetic conventions that provide information on Tamil social life. The texts of Padinan Melkanakku include Pathupattu and Ettutogai. These texts are the oldest among the classical Tamil texts. The text of Padinan Keelkanakku belong to a later date. Tolkappiyam is written by Tolkappiyar. The first 2 parts of Tolkappiyam describes about the Tamil grammar, and the third section of Tolkappiyam, it gives the information about the Tamil social life. The Padinan Melkanakku, that includes the Pathupattu and Ettutogai. So these texts are oldest among the classical Tamil texts. The Ettutogai, the 8 anthologies are Natchinai, Kurundogai, Paripadal, Padithupatru, Aingurunuru, Kalittogai, Agananuru, Purananuru. So Padithupattu includes the 10 long songs. So they are திருமுருகாற்றுப்படை, பொருநராற்றுப்படை, பெரும்பானாற்றுப்படை, சிறும்பானாற்றுப்படை, முல்லைப்பாட்டு, நெடுநல்வாடை, மதுரை காஞ்சி, குறிஞ்சிப்பாட்டு, பட்டினப்பாலை, மலைபடு கடாம். Padinan Keelkanakku, 18 minor works. The Padinan Keelkanakku comprises 18 texts elaborating on ethics and morals. The preeminent work among these is the Tirukkural, composed by Thiruvalluvar in 1330 couplets. Tirukkural considers questions of morality, statecraft, and love. The five epics. The epics are copiums or long narrative poem of very high quality. They are Silappadigaram, Manimegalai, Sivaka Sindhamani, Valayabadi, and Kundalagesi. So the Padinan Keelkanakku, it tells about the ethics and morals of life. So among this, Tirukural is the first one and it is composed by Thiruvalluvar. It consists of 1330 couplets. Couplets means kural. Okay, and also it considers the questions of morality, statecraft, and love. That is the three parts of Tirukural and the five copiums. Epigraphy. Epigraphy is the study of inscriptions. Inscriptions are documents scripted on stone, copper plates, and other media such as coins, rings, etc. The development of script marks the beginning of the historical period. Epigraphy. Epigraphy means it is the study of inscriptions. What is inscriptions? Inscriptions means kalvettugal. Okay, so the inscriptions are the documents. So some scripts are scripted on the stone or copper plates or coins or rings. So the development of inscriptions is called the beginning of the historical period. Tamil Brahmi inscriptions. Tamil Brahmi inscriptions have been found in more than 30 sites in Tamil Nadu, mostly on cave surfaces and rock shelters. These caves were the abodes of monks, mostly Jaina monks. The natural caves were converted into residence by cutting a drip line to keep rainwater away from the cave. Inscriptions often occur below such drip lines. The sites have smooth stone beds carved on rock surface for monks who led a simple life and lived in these shelters. Merchants and kings converted these natural formations as habitation for monks who had renounced worldly life. Mangulam, Muttupatti, Pugalur, Arachalur, Kongar Puliyankulam, and Jambai are some of the major sites of such caves with Tamil Brahmi inscriptions around Madurai. Many such caves with Tamil Brahmi inscriptions can still be seen. Many of them are located along ancient trade routes. This is called Tamil Brahmi inscription. So these type of Tamil Brahmi inscription have found in 30 sites in Tamil Nadu. These type of inscriptions are found in the rocks and the caves. So these caves are the living places of monks. Monks means Turavigal. Okay. See here in the center of this rock there is a line, no? So these caves, these naturally occurred caves are converted into residence by cutting this line. So through this line the rainwater will flow out. So the merchants and the kings, they helped the monks to make this naturally occurred caves for their living place. Mangulam, Muttupatti, Pugalur, Arachalur, Kongar Puliyankulam, and Jambai. So these are all the places where these Tamil Brahmi inscriptions are available. Many of these Tamil Brahmi inscriptions are located along the ancient trade routes. So see the image, there is some script below the line, no? So this is called inscription. So inside the cave they make a bed with a smooth stone for the monk people who are living there. Hero stones. Hero stones are memorials erected for those who lost their lives in the battles and in cattle raids. As cattle were considered as an important source of wealth, raiding cattle owned by adjoining tribes and clans was common practice in a pastoral society. During the Sangam age, the Mullai landscape followed the pastoral way of life. Tribal chieftains plundered the cattle wealth of enemies whose warriors fought to protect their cattle. Many warriors died in such battles and were remembered as martyrs. Memorial stones were erected in their honor. Sangam literature vividly portrays these battles and clashes and describes such hero stones as objects of worship. Tolkappiyam describes the procedures for erecting hero stones. Hero stones of the Sangam age with Tamil Brahmi inscriptions can be found at Pulimankombai and Tatapatti in Theni district and Purpanai Kotai in Pudukkottai district. Those of the Sangam age discovered till now do not have images or sculptures. Hero stones of the post-Sangam age and the Pallava period occur in large numbers in pastoral regions, especially around the Chengam region near Tiruvannamalai district. These hero stones have inscriptions and the images of warriors and name of heroes. Hero stones. So from the name itself we can learn. So hero stones means it is a kind of memorials which is created for the people, for the soldiers who died in the battles and in the cattle raids. Cattle raids means in olden days cattle are considered as an important source of wealth. So the people who are belonging to other community, they'll come and they'll own the cattle from this people. So after that what will happen? They'll fight with each other and they'll get back their cattle. So the people who are died in this battle are considered as heroes, and for their memorials to remember them, they are creating this type of hero stones. In the Sangam age also, the people who belongs to the Mullai landscape, so they followed the pastoral way of life, and also their cattle are also owned by the other peoples. So the leader who belongs to the Mullai landscape, so he'll go and he'll fight with the other people, and in the battle so many soldiers were died. So to remember them, they kept these type of hero stones in some places. So these type of hero stones are found at Pulimankombai and Dadapatti in Theni district, Purpanai Kotai in Pudukkottai district. Now we'll see about the Pulimankombai hero stone. So Pulimankombai is a village which is located in the river valley of Vaigai. So a rare stone inscription is found in this village. Now we'll see about that. So see the letters which are brightened with red color. I'll read it now. Kudalur Agol Peda Tian Antavan Kal. Okay, the meaning of the stone is, so it is a stone which is kept in the memorial of the hero. His name is Tian Antavan. So he is killed in a cattle raid at the village of Kudalur. So this is the thing which is written in the stone, and this is the hero stone which is in Pulimankombai. Inscriptions. Pottery vessels from the early historic period have names of people engraved on them in Tamil Brahmi script. Potsherds have been discovered in Arikkamedu, Alagankulam, Kodumanal, Keeladi and many other sites in Tamil Nadu. Pottery inscribed with name in Tamil Brahmi script have also been found in Bernik and Qusr al-Qadim in Egypt and in Khor Rori in Oman, indicating that early Tamils had trade contacts with West Asia and along the Red Sea coast. People etched their names on pottery to indicate ownership. Many of the names are in Tamil while some are in Prakrit. Prakrit was the language used by the common people in the northern part of India during the Mauryan period. Inscriptions. In the early historic period, people will write their names in the pottery vessels. So these type of inscriptions are found in Arikkamedu, Alagankulam, Kodumanal, Keeladi and also other sites in Tamil Nadu. And also these inscriptions are also found in Berenike and Qusr al-Qadim in Egypt and Khor Rori. So these type of inscriptions will indicate the trade contacts between the Tamil people and the people who belongs to the West Asia. So why they are writing their names like this? So to indicate their ownership. So he is the owner of a product. So to indicate their ownership, they are writing their names. So these names are written in Tamil and also in the Prakrit language. So Prakrit is also a language. It is used by the northern part of India. It is used by the people who lived in the northern part of India. Archaeological sites. Archaeological excavation refers to systematically digging a site to recover material evidence for exploring and interpreting societies of the past. Archaeological excavations at the early historic sites are the source of evidence of the activities of the Sangam age people. Excavations at Arikemedu, Alagankulam, Urayur, Kanchipuram, Kaviripumbattinam, Korkai, Vasavasamudram, Keeladi, Kodumanal in Tamil Nadu and Pattanam in Kerala provide the evidence we have of this period. Arikemedu near Puducherry is a Sangam age port excavated by the Archaeological Survey of India. British archaeologist Robert Eric Mortimer Wheeler, French archaeologist J.M. Castle and Indian archaeologist A. Ghosh and Krishnadeva excavated this site. They found evidence of a planned town, warehouse, streets, tanks and ring wells. The Archaeological Survey of India is a central government agency that manages archaeological sites and monuments in India. The government of Tamil Nadu has its own department for archaeology called the Tamil Nadu State Department of Archaeology. The Indian Treasure Trove Act 1878, the Antiquities and Art Treasures Act 1972, the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958 are legislation related to the preservation of archaeological remains in India. Archaeological excavation. What is archaeological excavation? A group of people, they will dig a site to recover the material which will be the evidence of the past human life. So through these archaeological excavation, so the material which is found from these excavation or act as a source of evidence for the Sangam age people. These type of excavations are happened at Arikemedu, Alagankulam, Urayur, Kanchipuram, Kaviripumbattinam, Korkai, Vasavasamudram, Keeladi, Kodumanal and also some places in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. See the image. This is a ring well which is found in Arikemedu near Puducherry. So it is excavated by Robert Eric and the French archaeologist Castle, the Indian archaeologist Ghosh and Krishnadeva. So the central government has formed an agency which is known as ASI, that is Archaeological Survey of India, to manage the archaeological sites and the monuments in India. The Tamil Nadu government has a separate archaeology department which is called as Tamil Nadu State Department of Archaeology, and it has created some acts to protect the archaeological remains in India. That is the Indian Treasure Trove Act 1878, Art Treasures Act 1972,